everyone. Welcome to another episode of From the District with State Senator Suzanne Weber, joined as always by our illustrious State Senator. Suzanne, how are you?
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
It's I think it's a misty, moisty morning. I was just outside trying to figure out whether or not I need to turn the sprinkler on the garden or not. I don't think it's going to amount to anything, but my peas have got to grow. That's just it. And my beans. That's it.
Well, it's good that you get to think about that stuff right now, because we are now 1 month in from the end of the regular long session. And you get to do fun stuff now. The fun stuff that is certainly important, but it's also the stuff that's really fun. So what have you been up to?
Well, I've done several parades. Cloverdale. Clover's Day is always a lot of fun. I think that is one of my favorites. But then there's Dory Days. I did that. And that was an astonishing amount of work went into the decorating those boats and those floats. It was so much fun. That's
one of my favorites. I mean, obviously, as a Tillamook boy, the Dairy Parade has always been my number one. But probably close number two is the Dory Day Parade. My family's got a lot of connections down there, so
yes,
I was always close to my heart.
And then the opening of the highway in Garibaldi for Garibaldi Days. I mean, that was with the potential layoffs because of transportation issues. That maybe wasn't going to happen, but we did have some employees from ODOT that were able to be there. Bill Jablonski. And it was just the way they did it was so cool. So the parade started with all of these big pieces of machinery that were involved in the construction. And when it got to a certain point, about the middle of the parade, they stopped all the machinery. All the dignitaries got out of their cars, went up to a ribbon, cut the ribbon, and the parade continued.
Oh, that's cool.
It was really cool. So,
yeah,
I mean,
awesome.
That was a really good parade also.
So glad to get that project done too, because especially it's really coming into the high point of summer.
Right.
It's good to have that project done.
Right. And it was so nice to see, the mayors along the way, like, the mayor of Garibaldi, Katie Findling, and Judy Riggs is back in working and organizing that parade. And she's a former mayor also. And it was just good to see all of the community spirit there.
Right.
Really enjoyed that. And then, on the 4th of July, we had done the parade in Warrenton. And that was also a good parade. I've never seen so many people in that parade. And the kids, it's amazing because, we're throwing or handing or passing out candy. And, it's about 40 pounds of candy a parade.
Yeah. And there's some forms that as you're filling them out say you are not allowed to throw candy.
Right.
I know Betsy Johnson usually said "I don't care" with some profanity involved, and did it anyway. Are you also a rule breaker like that?
Yes, I'm afraid so. I enjoy passing out candy to children, and the thing is, several years ago they didn't come with bags; they just came with their little innocent, But now they come with bags, and the bags are getting bigger.
Yes.
Because it's like Halloween. Exactly. And, we're very cognizant of where they are and watch where they go so that, we're never going to hit a child because of candy.
Yeah. Sometimes I wonder if the organizers put those on the form, and I don't know that this is true. I'm just guessing. I wonder if they put those on the form for liability reasons, knowing full well.
They probably do. They probably do.
Right.
So, I understand that. And then, this week I also got to watch Tim Cook come in. He's running the circuit of all 17 of the community colleges.
Right.
And that was fun. They gave me this bomb thing to release, and you twist it and all this blue powder goes everywhere. And then I realized about the middle of the afternoon that I was looking at the world through blue glasses, and washed my face, and the washcloth was blue, and I got into the shower and I realized there was blue down there because it had all gotten on my hair. And thank goodness I didn't have anything else that, really was big that day, so that I would go as the blue woman to this thing. And then yesterday, at Jandy's,
Yes.
south of town, wonderful place, oysters and good food. It was the retirement reception for Dr. B.
Yes, Dr.
Dr. Betlinski.
Yeah.
He's our medical.
When I was a little boy.
Yeah, he's been our medical examiner for several years, and so he's finally retiring from that. 46 years in practice.
Wow.
In Tillamook in various areas. Wonderful man. His family was there, and he was awarded several memorable, pieces.
Right.
And people told stories, and it was just a very nice afternoon in a wonderful setting.
There are so many doctors come and go in rural areas because they're getting their practice going, and they're
right.
And then you go off to other things, and that's understandable. But every once in a while, you get a few of them that stick around for a long time. Dr. Belinsky was one. He was one of my doctors. Jim Munley was my doctor when I was a little boy, and he hasn't practiced much, but I think he's still in town. So yeah, it's so great to see that making a career in the community for so long.
Yes. And, talking about his expertise and his compassion, his care for people, especially in dealing with the emotional issues that surround death. Right. And the reason that he's called to a lot of scenes. And, it was just very moving, and to listen to his wife and to listen to his son, who is also a doctor, be able to express, the gratitude to him for all of his work.
Awesome.
And then, what happens this week coming up? This is the week that I do manual labor.
Yes, it is.
Tillamook County Fair.
One of the greatest little show on earth.
Yes, and there are two other ladies, Shauna Thorpe and Chris Shirk, and we do the food for the people who work there, and the fair board, and the people in Parimutuel. We make sure that they've got snacks and food so that they can continue to take the bets, and the guys that are on the out doing the work on the track, the doghouse as it's called, make sure that they have. And so, we're lining up all that food for lunch and dinner for all those folks from Monday through Saturday.
Yeah,
and
that is always, we see Tillamook go from about 5,000 people to about 70,000 people, which is incredible. So hopefully everybody gets out there to see everybody at the fair. That's always a great experience.
Yeah, Wednesday morning is the official opening.
Of course.
And it truly is an old time fair with the courtyard. I went to the Columbia County Fair, and I had a wonderful time there because I saw lots of people that I hadn't seen, of course, since the last fair. And it was so nice to be able to, talk about the business that we have been doing in the Capitol. And, things coming forward. And, but, when you come to your own hometown fair, it's very moving.
It's different. I tell you, I used to have my parents and grandparents used to say, "Oh, I don't want to go. It's the same thing every year." And for me, that was the best part. Of course, it's the same thing every year. That's what you like about it. If anything changed, people would complain.
Yeah, and I've had people say to me, I'm going to be scooping ice cream on Friday night. Are you going to come and get an ice cream cone for me?
I had somebody.
Of course I am.
I had somebody say, "Well, since Suzanne's not going to be in the Senate anymore in a few years, is she going to come back and run the Sacred Heart booth?
I heard that too.
That was my reaction to it. I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I will say we missed that. We missed that booth a lot.
Well, that was over 25 years. That was over 25 years of doing that.
Maybe someday will come where somebody will, will come and somebody will see the desire to bring that back with the church. The church is growing, and it's got a lot of younger folks there. Great opportunity for you younger folks to get involved there.
Yes, and it was interesting talking to Mrs. Betlinsky because we share the kitchen and the refrigerators, and she runs the Adventist booth, or she's very instrumental in making sure that happens. And to sit yesterday and talk to her about things that I used to worry about when I was running the church booth, and she's still worrying about those things.
Sure. I am sure. Well, speaking of getting out and talking to people about what's happened in the Capitol, you have been talking to people about what's going in the Capitol. You generally do not have town halls. Every once in a while you partner with somebody who asks you to, but for the most part you have these individual meetings that people can sign up for 15 minutes or so to come talk to you. And the point of this is so that you can actually sit down and have a meaningful conversation with someone, instead of having, we've seen across the country, the town halls being hijacked by activists, and the folks who come and actually want to hear or talk don't get a chance. So
they don't.
The purpose of these is to actually give everyone who wants to a chance to come talk to you. And it could be just them one-on-one with you. I know one person has signed up to bring 10 people with them. As long as the room is big enough, that's fine.
Well, only 5 of them fit in the room.
Yeah, well.
But they all made their case, and they have all, given me something that I'm going to work on. And they had all of the information and everything that has happened revolving around it. And they had a great presentation, and they had my undivided attention, and I am, thoroughly educated on their,
So how have they been going? I mean, you've done some in Seaside. We're recording this on August 1st. You've got more coming up in the future.
Yes.
How have they been going so far?
Very well.
What have you been hearing about from people?
Well, I'm hearing about things surrounding elections, and the possibility of how we can do those things better. What's happening with, people want to know just what exactly is happening with ODOT, and people have opinions about why they think things are happening as they are, and they're concerned about leadership going forward. They're concerned about education, and they're concerned about funding. They're concerned about forest fires and logging, and how we're going to go forward with that. They have a lot of really interesting concerns, and then there's people that want to know how bills come to be, and how they can influence bills, and what's the difference between a resolution and a bill, and how those things move forward, especially when people have voted for these things.
Right.
And there have been some people that are very concerned about moving forward, seeing as how this is my last session, how the transition is going to go, and who is going to be going forward.
Well, we'll talk about that towards the end.
We will.
And
then I got to talk with the mayor, and arrange to be up in Seaside again, because that sculpture, that bronze sculpture out there on the turnaround of Lewis and Clark, the sculptor didn't sign it.
Oh dear.
So it doesn't have a signature on it as to who did it. And so they're going to have a special ceremony up there to put a plaque up there recognizing the person who did it.
Oh, well, that's cool.
Yes. And they're also on that same day, it's going to be September 6th. They're also going to have a demonstration of the salt makers. Because remember, Seaside is where the Lewis and Clark came to make salt.
Right.
Which was very, very important, especially towards food preservation.
Right. No refrigerators back then.
Right. And so the mayor is going to be doing a special demonstration on the in the salt cairns.
Ooh, well, that has to be cool. I'll tell you, it's really great to hear that people are trying to educate themselves about the process, about what's going on. We still get emails asking you to vote for or against President Trump's nominees. So people still think that you are a U.S. senator, which you are not. You are an Oregon state senator. You can vote for or against the governor's nominees, but you cannot vote for the president's nominees.
Right.
You have same opinion, same influence over that as constituents do.
The other thing I want to bring up coming up is that Manzanita is going to have its official opening of City Hall on Saturday. And in this next week is also going to be the official opening of the museum in Rainier, which is fabulous.
Yes, I've heard wonderful things about that.
And Manzanita's City Hall is a beautiful building also, and I can hardly wait to see the inside of it.
Absolutely.
And then, in North County, there's been a lot of construction, a lot of work, and they're now, they're aiming towards the opening of the health center in Nehalem. No, Wheeler.
Wheeler, yeah.
And this week they put in all the landscaping, and in driving by that, I was impressed.
Yeah, the rendering was really good when we were advocating for it. The renderings are beautiful, so it's always nice to see them actually pan out that way. For those folks who have not yet gotten the opportunity to schedule a meeting with you, there are more coming up throughout the district. So we'll make sure that we include those in the newsletter. If you want to sign up, again, you sign up for about 15 minutes. And if you can't be at any of these, don't worry. If you still want to meet with Senator Weber, we can arrange a virtual meeting.
Yes.
If you're in Tillamook, that's where she lives. We can arrange a personal meeting if that's what you want. But throughout most of the district, we are happy to arrange a virtual meeting so that you can make sure that you get your voice heard. The whole purpose of this is to give you the opportunity for the senator's undivided attention in a way that fits your schedule, instead of having to come to one place with a bunch of people and may or may not get your voice heard. So we want to make sure that we can accommodate everybody as possible.
And today I'm going to have a presentation at my house by the folks from Pacific City who are planning the museum for the dories.
Doryman, yeah.
There is the proposal for a museum for the dories down there. And I've been hearing about this. I've been seeing renderings, but this afternoon I'm going to have an official presentation on that. And then I have had some other people that can't make those meetings also just contact me, and we have set up some meetings into the future after the fair to be able to talk.
Right. Well, so please make sure that you get your opportunity to do that if you would like. It's always a great opportunity. We have one more session that the senator will be a part of. We only get 2 bills for this session.
Exactly.
So we want to get the best possible legislation that's going to help the most people. So if you have an idea, a lot of our legislative ideas come from constituents.
These meetings, yes.
Yeah. So please go ahead and get that information in. Let's talk about what so many people are talking about, and that is transportation. You ended the legislative session where the legislature was not able to get a 2/3 majority. I'm sorry, a 3/5 majority, which is required to raise revenue. So you were not able to agree on
Right.
a transportation package. Now, the reason for that, because Democrats have supermajorities in both
Both.
chambers,
Yes.
because the Democrats didn't agree on this. Certainly, the Republicans didn't agree either, but the Democrats couldn't even get on the same page on this. So it
Right.
was not the
And it
Republicans
couldn't,
holding it back.
it couldn't come to the Senate for a vote until it had come out of the House.
Right.
And there was so much contention in the House over this bill
Right.
that it never moved to us.
Right. And they tried numerous iterations, and it just didn't get anywhere.
Well, 28 amendments to a bill tells you, in the 2 weeks that it was out there for discussion, is a lot. It tells you that things are not ready for
Right.
prime time.
Right. And I think, I hope everyone learned some lessons about this in terms of the leaders, of the governor and the legislative leaders, and that you cannot reveal a bill for the first time in June,
Right. You
of
can't.
this size, and expect that it's going to go all the way through the process. So that was a strategic error on their part.
Yes.
I think, and the governor,
That's what I think.
that the governor, when she was speaker, was just a masterful legislator. To our chagrin, many times, she was a master legislator, and
Yes, she was.
chose not to engage until the very, very end, which I think was also an error in judgment.
I agree.
So, unfortunately, now the Republicans put forward numerous times.
Yes.
So anybody who's saying the Republicans did not have a plan, they just were saying no. The Republicans did have a plan that did not raise taxes, did not raise fees, would have funded ODOT, would have made some cuts, because I think we'd all agree ODOT's a touch bloated. It would have made some cuts, but would have funded the department to get the projects done that need to get done. Unfortunately, the majority party was not willing to even entertain that, and they would rather.
And there were some budgeting flaws also. When you look at the amount of money that was proposed for maintenance and preservation in light of all of the problems we have on our highways, I mean, look at Highway 6, Highway 30, Highway 26, just as regional examples, and then magnify that to the state, and then look at the amount of money that was put towards maintenance, and then all of the people that were being laid off were the people that are going to be paid by that maintenance fund. And so we were going to suffer.
Right.
Even more than we're already suffering. Because, like this week going over Highway 6, I saw they're adding more asphalt to those places that are sinking. That's not taking care of the problem.
Right.
And so, there are issues, especially with budgeting.
Right. And I think the reality is that, I was listening to Reagan Knope and Brian Iverson's podcast called Crosstabs. If you're a podcast listener, it's a great kind of deep dive into what Republican staffers and political folks are, the way our minds work, because they're both of those things.
Yeah, they are.
And they brought up a poll that mentioned that 2/3 of Oregonians believe that the roads in Oregon are actually pretty good. Now, whether that is true or not, that's not here or there. That's what the perception is. So bring that to the reality that if the legislature were to pass a large transportation package, which is going to include a great deal of increasing taxes and fees, right? And if that package were to be referred to the ballot, which I think there is a desire.
There is a chance.
That by some folks, and that it's not just hotheads; it's people who know what they're doing.
Yes.
If 2/3 of the people in Oregon believe that the roads are okay, and you're asking to raise their taxes substantially to improve the roads, you might be in a tough spot politically.
Yes.
So I think the smart thing would be to take a look at your package, which would have dealt with the roads, at least on a basic level, funded the stuff that's still going on, made
Yes.
strategic cuts, which I think we should all agree.
We definitely should.
And would not have put you in a position where you were going to, number one, need a supermajority to pass, and number two, threaten the possibility of a referral to the ballot where there's a good chance you lose. But that's not what happened. So let's fast forward to what's going on. At the end of this month, a special session that the governor has called on the day before, or the Friday before Labor Day.
Yes, and it's really interesting because I'm hearing from different sources that might, well, it might be for the House that it'll be on the 29th, but I have heard recently that the Senate will be called in on Labor Day.
Well,
and that's possible, but I have not heard and had any kind of an official notification of the structure of this special session, or I have asked specifically to see the, LC or the budget.
That didn't exist.
Or the bill. It doesn't exist yet that I can see.
The LC might exist, but they have not shared it.
They haven't shared it.
It's this situation where they shared kind of the basics, where they're going to raise a gas tax.
Right.
They're going to raise the fees. It's certainly narrowed in scope, but still is a substantial package.
And it's my understanding that they're talking with the truckers because, a part of what has been so unfair has been the weight mile charges against the truckers. And they have been overpaying for years, and it's not fair.
Yeah.
And I have heard from several of them that they're very disappointed that their concerns are not being taken seriously, and that once again it's going to be on their backs.
Yep. And
I had a meeting last week with one of the co-chairs of the joint committee on transportation, and she's very open and she's working hard on this. It's Susan McLean. But we're not there yet.
Right.
And she was telling me things that I hadn't heard from my own caucus. And so there's this sea of unresolved issues and rumors and innuendos out there that are once again going to be muddying the waters. And is it going to be another 2 weeks before the session when we finally see the complete and total package? And are there going to be hearings, revolving around these issues or not? How is this going to be resolved?
Yeah.
And why pick Labor Day weekend?
Well, I have opinions about that I won't share. But I will say on that, we don't know how the Measure 113 rules apply to special sessions. Those are that being the rules around if you have 10 unexcused absences, you cannot run for re-election. This would be an entirely different special session, so I think that would reset. I think it would be perfectly reasonable if they call the Senate into session on Labor Day, that the entirety of the Republican caucus were to say, no, we're not coming in on Labor Day. Not happening. You can come in the next day. And even if that does count against you, well, who cares? It's one day.
One day.
So yes. I think the Senate Republicans have a lot of control over whether or not that things get called into special session on that.
And here's a rumor. This is a rumor.
Goody, more.
That the Democrats have said, well, we don't really need you there. We have quorum. We can handle this.
Well,
I don't think maybe they would need a couple, maybe 3 or 4 on the House side, and they would need a couple on the Senate side.
Yeah, they do. They have to have.
Are they sure that they have all of the yes votes?
Well, beyond the votes, they need you there. I mean, they need 40 people in the Senate. They need 20 people in the House.
Lots in chairs, yes.
Be there before they can do anything. And
Yeah.
now you can just not. If they think they have every Democrat on both sides of the House on that will be there and will vote for it, then yeah, they don't need you. They don't need your vote, but they certainly need you to show up. So the question is it worth denying quorum over this? I personally, I don't think so. It's going to happen one way or the other. It's not worth trying to drag other people into that fight. I think walkouts or denial of quorum is an arrow in the quiver that should only be used on extreme circumstances. We get emails all the time saying, walk out over this, walk out over this, walk out over this. You can't walk out over everything. You just can't. And when you do, it makes the body completely useless. And
it's totally dysfunctional.
You will eventually get to the point where you no longer have enough Republicans to run, because we don't necessarily have a bench in a lot of these places, where the Democrats will eventually just have the 2/3 majority, and they can just do anything anytime. So I'm not saying that walkouts or denial of quorum are a bad thing when used properly, but boy, when you hear walk out over guns, walk out over this, walk out over transportation, walk out over this thing that's being built over here, you can't walk out everything. That is cannot be the go-to answer. So, but I think in this situation, if they try to make you show up on Labor Day, you can just say no. As long as everybody comes back, as long as everybody agrees, you say, well, we'll just do it the next day. And they can't. It would be very, very bad form and a bad way to start.
Yes, it would.
You're
absolutely
going to
right.
force everybody to come in on Labor Day and ram something through that you have hardly even seen. So
it'll be, like I say, it's all rumor and innuendo, and so we don't know.
That's the point. So when people ask us, what's going to happen? What's going on? What's the package look like? We don't know. No one's telling us. No one shared anything with us. It's very, very frustrating to us, for those folks who ask and hear the answer and are unsatisfied. We're unsatisfied giving it, because we don't know what's going on either. We're very frustrated, but it is what it is. Now, Senator, another thing as we wrap up here is you don't usually give endorsements. You've probably given endorsements since you have been in the legislature. No. Maybe given enough that, you can count on one hand for any case. But since you were unable to run for re-election this next time to the Senate, you have met with the 3 Republicans who are running to replace you, and you have endorsed one. Tell us about it. Who is she?
I have endorsed County Commissioner Courtney Hart Bangs. She has been the county commissioner who has been most involved in the habitat conservation issues that have gone forward, that are impacting our area financially and economically. She lives in Clatsop County in the Napa area, and she has stayed completely involved in all of the time that I have known her, since before she was running for election, in issues that are the best for her district. I have seen that she has done her research on all of the aspects. She has made an effort to get out there and meet people and hear what they have to say. And actually, I think that is extremely important. We have got to know what our constituents are thinking, what they want, what they need, and what is impacting them. And I have seen that she has been a really good ambassador for the people she represents. And she's not afraid to go to Salem and talk to people.
No, every year there has been something that she has been there for, and usually numerous times, whether it's virtual, whether it is in person. A number of times her daughter has also her
daughter's very involved, also
very active, which is wonderful to see teenagers get involved like that. We got to know her as you were running for the House for the first time.
I met her for the first time on the steps of the Capitol.
Right.
Um,
Unity, right?
Timber Unity.
Right. So you and Courtney have the same consultant. When she was running for
Yes.
the county commissioner, and you were running for the legislature. So we would do things in common and talk. And ever since, I just found her to be incredibly knowledgeable, very passionate. I certainly don't agree with her all the time, and I don't think you do either.
No, I don't either.
There's things that, but when it comes to the big things, the really big things that affect the community, I think we definitely are in lockstep. So
yes,
I think the other two gentlemen that you met, they're seem to be hard-working, dedicated folks. Hopefully, they will stay involved and run for either these offices or another office sometime in the future. But I think certainly you made the best choice here of the three.
I think that the primary should be very interesting because at this point in time, we don't know from the other side who are candidates that are going to be coming forward for sure.
Yeah.
But I think that Courtney, with her area familiarity, is the best choice from my point of view.
Yeah. On the other side, it appears that former Senator Rachel Armitage, who you replaced, she filled in for about 5 minutes as senator when Betsy Johnson resigned to run for governor. I think she was in the Senate for a short session, and that's it. So she was appointed. She never ran, was never elected. She has filed, and I will note that she received a small donation, but a donation all the same from Senate President Wagner. That says to me she's their woman. There may be other people who run, but she's going to be the one that the caucus is probably polling for. Because that's a thing, right? Caucuses sometimes pretend to be neutral. Some of the times they really are neutral, but often they pretend to be neutral, but they really have one that they really, really want.
Exactly.
So other Democrats may run, but it appears she's going to be the one that they're going to pull for. If I'm going to choose between the two of them, Courtney is certainly far more rooted, far more active in the community than former Senator Armitage, who is a very nice person. I have met her.
Oh,
a lovely person. Just very, very different values than I think
I got to know her when I was in the House, and I have kept up a relationship with her as she has, gone forward. And
so we will see.
Yeah,
as this moves forward, we still have. I mean, people can still file to run until March 2026. So we got time.
Yes.
Senator, anything else before we wrap up?
I got to go to Banks Elementary this week.
Oh, right.
To look at their summer school program, and I had a wonderful time. I got to read a book to the first and kindergartners.
Oh, back in your element.
Back in my element. It was wonderful. Awesome. The other thing I want to highlight is this year is the 100th anniversary of the Pig and Fords.
Is it real? I didn't know that.
Yes. And so this is a big fair. This is a milestone.
Folks, obviously, Senator Weber represents a large swath of Northwest Oregon, from almost downtown Portland to Pacific City, Nesquid, so all over the place. So if you have not been to the Tillamook County Fair and seen the Pig and Boards, the 100th anniversary is a great time to do it. I travel many, many places, and I tell people about the Pig and Fords, and they look at me like I got like 3 heads. It's
only place in the world.
I show them. I pull my phone and I show them the YouTube videos of what it looks like. You can do that now, and they just absolutely flabbergasted. They think it's hilarious. And it's something that's just, as you said, the only one in the world. So the world champion happens right here in Tillamook County.
Exactly. Yes.
Awesome. Well, Senator, as always, we do these now in the off session at the beginning, once a month. I suspect we will do this after the special session is done.
That's when I'm thinking it would be best to do this, because I think that we can give a a wrap up from our side of the aisle as
Right.
to what happened and,
Right.
how it's going to be impacting the people in District 16.
However, please do keep watching the Facebook page. Keep watching your
Yes.
email for newsletters. You'll hear from us as that special session is going on if we need to, and if we really think we need to get folks riled up to get to the Capitol or to testify, we may do one of these beforehand. Or if something crazy happens before the actual session, we might want to do these beforehand. We'll see
Yeah.
how it goes. But during the off season, in the interim, we do generally do them once a month
Yeah.
to keep you updated where the senator's been, what she's heard, and what's going on in the next month. So we'll keep that up unless we need to do it a little earlier for the special session, but we'll see.
Right. So stay tuned
Stay tuned.
for more information and, keep yourself informed.
Yes.
Pay attention.
Lots of stuff going on in Washington, D.C. Quite honestly, very little of it actually affects your day-to-day life.
Exactly.
Stuff that happens here in Oregon that you
That's what's important.
have in your legislatures, your city councils, your county commissions, your school boards. That's the stuff that happens that affects your daily life much more closely. So pay attention to
Pay
that.
attention.
Maybe
Yes.
watch DC a little less. It's been good for your mental health. Trust me.
Exactly.
Senator, thank you very much. Always
Thank
enjoyed
you
this
so
with you.
much. And happy anniversary.
Thank you. Thank you.
10 years.
10 years.
My
My
goodness.
wife has put up with me. She hasn't regretted her choice yet.
Well,
Yeah.
she won't.
Well, depends who you talk to on that one. All right, Senator.
All right.
Thank you very
Take
much.
care. Mhm.
Thank you very much, everyone. We'll see you next time.